Welcome in, I'm Artress, and in this video we're going to be going over one of the stronger leaders to come out of OP07 in Lucci, a new black leader that says when attacking you may trash the top 2 cards of your deck, give up to one of your opponent's characters -1 cost for this turn. So now that we're going into OP07, Sakazuki is banned, and I think a lot of people are looking to play a control deck, and I think Moria is a very fine control deck to play. Same with Red Purple Law, but I think Lucci is probably the best replacement for Sakazuki as far as the leader goes. You have a built-in cost reduction into the leader itself, and you're also being able to mill yourself, which is huge if you're playing black because a lot of what you do is with your trash. So this leader, I think I put it in an A tier in my tier list. I think it's a high A, low S. The thing is, I think it has a lot of fair matchups. There are a few matchups, of course, you'll struggle against with Black Yellow Luffy, but overall, I think that this leader is very strong, and I think if you played a deck similar to Sakazuki in any of the previous formats to 07, this will be a suitable replacement and probably one of the stronger ones to play. So let's go over the deck list of what I think you should be putting into your deck for Lucci. But before we get into that, if you find anything in this video useful or informative, please make sure to drop a like and a sub. Helps out the channel immensely. And also, if you'd like to talk about the One Piece card game outside of the YouTube comments, please make sure to join the Discord. The link is in the description below. So first off, we have Spandine, which is a card from EB01 that says, on play, you may return 3 cards with CP in its types from your trash to the bottom of your deck in any order. Play up to 1 cost 4 or lower character with CP in its types other than Spandine from your trash rested. So this card mostly will be used to combo with your Moria pieces. So you'll go like Moria into Rebecca, and Rebecca will probably be able to grab the Spandine, and then Spandine will either grab a Lucci to KO something, or maybe a Khalifa, which we'll get to these cards in a second, to draw 2 trash to. But Spandine is a very important combo piece, and I think for the most part you're going to want to see it in the trash, which is a good card to have in your hand as well to counter out with, to put it in the trash to get it there. Then another card from EB01, we have 2 Brook. This is an on-play when attacking. Give up to one of your opponent's characters cost -1 for this turn, then KO up to one of your opponent's 0-cost characters. I actually find that this card is very, very useful. One of the MVPs of the deck, to be quite honest, simply because having an additional cost reduction on top of your leader ability, and then also being able to KO something when it swings is very nice. And this card can also come out with Moria. With the same combo we said, instead of Spandine, you can pull out the Brook and potentially KO something with the Brook instead. So this is a very useful card overall. Then we're running 3 Suru. This is a 2k counter that basically just says if you play it down, -2 cost to a card for the turn. This is probably the best 2k counter in black to be able to have some spot cost reduction. I'm running 3 of them because it's not searchable, and for the most part, if it's in your trash, you're happy. If it's in your hand, you're happy, and you will come across it more often than not. Now, one of the techs that you can add in, you don't necessarily have to run Isho, but I am running 2 Isho in this deck. I find it very good against either like green. I find it very useful to play against yellow, for instance. Yellow has a huge hand size for the most part, and this helps cut down that hand size. And then also the Dawn ×1, your turn, all of your opponent's characters get to -3 to their cost, is very useful as well, simply because you will eventually run out of cost reduction if you don't play your cards correctly, and this can be an additional cost reduction at the price of just 1 Dawn. And to the entire board too, which is really nice. Running 4 Kaku. Now, you could run anywhere from 3 to 4 on this. This is a 5-cost 6k power from OP03, and on play, you may return 2 cards with CP in its type from your trash to the bottom of your deck in any order. KO up to one of your opponent's characters at the cost of 3 or less. So if you're going first, this is a great 5 Dawn turn play. If your opponent puts out a 4 Dawn turn body, you just swing in, use your leader ability to -1. Make sure you have 2 CP type cards in the trash before you play this out and use this ability, because you have to have that stipulation in order for it to be able to KO. But it's pretty easy for the most part, since there are a fair amount of that Cypher Pole cards in your deck. And like I said, you could run this at 4, you could run it at 3. I wouldn't go any less than 3 with this card. I think it is a pretty solid card to play around the mid game, either that or the Sabo. Then we're running 4 Khalifa. This is a 2k counter that says on play, draw 2, trash 2, and then give up to one of your opponent's characters -2 cost for the turn. I think that this is a very strong play if you're going second and you need to filter out your hand and you may have mulliganed and you didn't get what you want. Khalifa is fine to put on the field, and then with only 1 Dawn investment, it can swing at a leader for the most part, barring like Newgate or Red Purple Luffy. This is also a decent play if you have your Spandine and you have nothing to KO with like the Lucci, then you can bring out the Khalifa from trash and filter out your hand a little bit more, which there's different ways that you can use a Spandine, like I said, Khalifa or Lucci, but Khalifa is definitely a very strong 2K counter in this deck. Because it is CP9, it's searchable with your Spandam, which we'll get to in a second. Also, it will meet the stipulation for Kaku to be able to throw back in the deck. So yeah, Khalifa is probably the best in this deck, specifically the best 2K counter. I know that Suru is probably the best objectively black 2K counter, but Khalifa, I think in this deck, definitely shines. Then we're running 4 Spandam. This is your basic searcher. It says on play, if your leader has a CP and its type, look at the 3 cards from the top of your deck, reveal up to 1 CP type card other than Spandam and add it to your hand, then trash the remaining cards. So it helps you find either your 2Ks or maybe like a KO piece, or maybe, I don't know, what, like this 1 cost event that you're looking for potentially, and then puts the rest in the trash, so it helps fill out the trash, which you ultimately want with this leader. So yeah, Spandam is, does it all. Turn 1, great play. If you're going second, also look for this mulligan for this for the most part, so you can kind of set up your trash and then also set up your hand as well. I'm running 4 Sabo. I just really like this card. I think you could run it at 3. I think that it is really strong in the mirror. I think that it is one of those cards that it does a lot of what you're wanting to do with this deck. You're wanting to fill up your trash, and then being able to have all of your units protected. Like in this format in 07, I think the thing is, like, the only thing that can hurt this is really red purple law, or very specific cards like the 6 cost Brook that trashes something, or like Nightmare Luffy. But yeah, for the most part, Sabo is going to be untouched, and it's a great addition to the deck. I love the draw 2 trash 2, and I think that this is, I'll say it once, I'll say it again. I've said this in so many videos, and I'll continue to say it. It's like the best blocker in the game, one of the best black cards you can have in the deck as well. So then on top of that, we're running 3 Rebecca. You could run 4 on this. You might want to switch the Sabo with the Rebecca as far as like the numbers go. But I think with Rebecca, the thing we're looking to do the most is put Rebecca into the trash so that we can revive her with the Gecko Moria play. And if you have at least 1 in your trash, you're going to be fine. You can be able to use the Rebecca over and over again, which is why I'm running 3 instead of 4, because eventually you will see it either in the trash and revive it out with the Moria, or have it in your hand and play it straight up. So I think Rebecca, once again, the whole deck is really strong, but I think Rebecca is a very strong center point to the deck as well. And then we're running, of course, we're running Rob Lucci himself from CP0. This is an on play. You may place 3 cards from your trash on the bottom of your deck in any order, KO up to 1 of your opponent's characters at the cost of 2 or less, and up to 1 of your opponent's characters at the cost of 1 or less. So the whole point of this Lucci is you're just trying to get as much board clear as possible. You can usually take care of 2 units at once with the amount of cost reduction you have with your leader, with like Suru, with Brook, Khalifa potentially, the Helmeppos, the stage. We have a lot of things that can reduce characters' costs down quite a lot, and then get them in range of 2 and 1 so that Lucci is able to pop them. And oftentimes you can play the Lucci with the Moria so that you're able to establish Moria into Rebecca, into like a Spandam search, into a Spandine with the Rebecca, then the Spandine brings out a Lucci. So you're getting like 21 Dawn worth of value for the cost of 8. So yeah, it's insane in this deck. And Lucci's one of those you could also run up to 4. I felt like I saw it a lot when I was playing it, and so I bumped it down to 3. It is counterless, so that is a little bit of an issue in this deck, because you are running a fair amount of bricks overall, and that's also one of the reasons why I have Sabo at 4, is because Sabo helps filter that out. Then I think if you're playing black, you have to play Moria, and especially at 4. If you're running any less than 4 Moria, you're trolling at that point, I think. If you're unaware, on play, choose up to 1 cost 4 or less and up to 1 cost 2 or less character from your trash. Play 1 of them, then play the remaining rested. So the big play here is play Moria, play Rebecca, then grab a Spandam from the trash. Spandam gets a search out, ideally like a 2K. Rebecca then brings out the Spandine or the Brook, depending on what you'd like to play. Spandine will bring out the Lucci, will bring out the Khalifa, can bring out the Kaku, whatever you'd like in that regard. So overall, there's a lot of combo potential depending on what's going on with the board. And then we're running 3 Kaku, another new card from OP07. This is on play. You may trash 2 cards with a type including CP from your trash to the bottom of your deck in any order. Give up to 1 of your opponent's characters a -3 cost for the turn. You're not really going to use that effect very often. It is a 2K counter that is searchable from Spandam, and that's the main reason why it's in the deck. You can play it just to have a body on the field if you're desperate to do so. I've done it before, and it's okay. But for the most part, this is a 2K counter. Then I'm running 1 of the 9-cost Stussy from OP07, another new card. On play, you may place 1 of your characters into the trash, KO up to 1 of your opponent's characters. Doesn't matter the cost, just KO it, get rid of it. This is a very nice answer to like the 10 cost rush ace that we're going to see in a lot of the Enel decks. So this is a good answer to that. This can also answer like a 10 cost Doflamingo or any kind of big body in a pinch if you've already used a lot of your cost reduction or you're running out of abilities to KO something with. So Stussy is very nice. It's searchable off of the Spandam. You could run 2 here. I think 2 feels a little bit brooky. There are some matchups that it just doesn't feel good in, like if you're going against Red Purple Law, which will dominate the meta in 07. Stussy is kind of useless in my opinion, and so that's why I'm running 1. But I do think that another big boss monster in this deck that's introduced in OP07 with Sabo is very good into RP Law. So I'm running 2 of these Sabos. It's an 8 cost and 9,000 power body. On play, you may trash 1 card from your hand, KO up to one of your opponent's cost 5 or less characters, and up to one of your opponent's cost 3 or less characters. So with a leader swing alone, you can, against Red Purple Law, take one of the 4 costs down to 3, and if they have a blocker like a Queen, if they have a Miss All Sunday, if they have another blocker like a Kid, you can just then use this to get rid of that, and then also the thing that you reduced by 1. So Sabo has a lot of good uses against Red Purple Law. It has a lot of good uses against other decks in general. And I think with the big boss monsters that are unsearchable, you at least want to run 2 if you mill 1, you at least have another one in the deck somewhere that you can come across. So yeah, Sabo is a really good card, a good addition to the deck here, and another good card from OP07 for black. Then I'm running 2 Helmeppos. This is a 2 cost. On play, give up to one of your opponent's characters -3 to their cost during this turn. This is going to be a great piece to grab out of the trash with Moria so that you can -3 to an opponent's character and then pop it with Lucci, or maybe use the Brook to get it to another like 0 or something and pop it with the Brook. Once again, lots of different opportunities with combo pieces here, and Helmeppo is just one of those combo pieces that you can use. And I think 2 is good here because with 1, I was only seeing it every so often in trash, and I really like this as a cost reducer versus like a Suru, for instance. The -3 definitely just pushes you over the edge to where you can get a lot of bodies that you might not have been able to get with the -2 from Suru. Then with Great Eruption Band, there's a fair amount of different events you can run. You can run Ice Age, but I think what makes the most sense is Tempest Kick, which is from OP07. This is a CP9, so it's searchable off of Spandam, and it's a main draw 1 card. After this, if your trash has 10 or more cards, give up to one of your opponent's characters -3 cost for the turn. So this is a Great Eruption on steroids for Lucci, which is really nice. And it is going to be easy to hit with Lucci because you are going to have 10 cards in your trash for the most part by the time that this becomes useful. Early game, if you have one in your hand, you might want to consider using it as just like a cantrip to be able to draw one. But also, keep in mind that this is a very strong 1 cost -3, so you might want to hold on to that, just depending on the situation, depending on the decks you're going against. But yeah, I leave that up to your discretion. But overall, there are different implications that you can have playing this card. You can play it to draw a card, you can just play it to do the -3 effect. So yeah, overall very good. And then finally, to round us out, what I think is the strongest card in the deck, which makes this deck really, really potent, is the Ennis Lobby 2 cost event from OP03. It's an activate main. You may rest this stage. If your leader has CP in its types, give up to one of your opponent's characters -2 to their cost during this turn, and the trigger is play this card. So if it comes out of life, that is amazing. We love to see it. Usually I'll mulligan for this card, especially going second, simply because that it is that powerful. Being able to basically, with your leader ability, -3 to anything with this on the field is really strong, and it's a great combo piece. You will struggle a little bit more with this not on the field, I've noticed, but you might ask, like, why is this not at 4? Because once you get it down on the field, you don't want any more in your hand, and I think that if you run 4, you're definitely going to see it, and then you're going to see some that you don't care for, and you're going to have a dead card in hand a lot. So once again, that's also why the Sabo's in the deck, to be able to filter that out. The Khalifa helps filter it out if you have extras in your hand. There also is potential for you to be able to play this down, have it on the field, and then have another in hand, and then play the other one so that you can get -2 with the one on the field, trash that one, put the new one on, and then another -2, so you're minusing 5 with the leader ability swing. So yeah, Ennis Lobby, really strong card. I know that I said a lot of these cards are strong. I think this deck, you'll definitely see, has probably one of the best matchup spreads across the board, and I think we'll see a lot of it in Treasure Cups and regionals, and probably do very well overall. So enough about that. Let's take it into the sim and see how it does. I think this hand is okay. Usually I like to keep a Moria, but I mean, hey, a couple of boss monsters are fine with me. Having an 8 cost Sabo and a Stussy is really good. Let's go ahead and get the Spandam down, see what we can get off of it. What do I like here? Probably the Kaku. I think Kaku's good if we can get an Ennis lobby within the next turn or two. Otherwise, we can just use it as a counter. I think that's fine. They have the Cavendish, so yeah, an Ennis lobby would be really nice. They're going to do double search here. What we would like to see here on this next turn would be maybe a Brook. Like I said, Ennis lobby is always good as well. Let's swing at this first, use the leader ability. Because there's a potential we could get a Brook, but we didn't. So we just go all in on this. I don't want them to counter out. I just want them to get rid. Yeah, I just want to get rid of both of them, and I don't care about playing Rebecca right now. To be fair, why I swung with Lucci first though is I wanted to see if I could get a Brook and then use the Brook ability. That'd be nice, but no, doesn't seem like that is the case. I don't know if we're going to be able to KO this Cavendish. Yeah, we're definitely not. So let's just swing the Bonney, minus here. And then let's go ahead and play the Sabo down. Okay, we can get rid of one of the Kakus. And to be fair, we can probably get rid of the Brook here. And then pass the turn. So if they play a body that we can KO this next turn, yeah, Drake is probably a good one here. I think we take this hit. Yeah, we take the hit, and what we're going to do is we're counter out with Sabo. We'll go here, 1, 2. Cool. And then, do we have anything we can KO with? I don't think we do. I think Cavendish is more of a threat, so let's go ahead and just go, like, 5 at lead, use the ability. We're going to get Cavendish down to 0. We're going to go Rebecca, Helmeppo. Helmeppo minuses to 4. We're going to get the Brook in hand, play the Brook out, and then get rid of the Cavendish. So this gives them quite a few targets to attack into rather than our life. And this will allow us to buy a turn to do whatever we need to do here. Now, if they play something that is like unanswerable, like maybe a Zoro. Like Zoro's not really answerable right now, I don't think. Oh, we do have 10 in the trash. We can do Tempest Kick and be okay. I think we counter out. Or no, actually, I think we block. Because then they're going to force... It forces them to swing into the Brook, which is fine. Now, depending on what they play here, we could go Stussy. We could also just, like, Sabo them. Tempest Kick, Sabo, and then keep the Stussy in hand for if they have something that we can't answer the following turn. That's always nice. Your Rouge is not like the most... It's not like the scariest thing in the world for sure. Could we do this again? Is the question. Let's go here. 10 to 6. I imagine they're going to rest the Sabo? No, they rest the leader. Okay. Interesting. Okay, this is fine with us. So let's go Tempest Kick. We're going to go... Oh, I see. Okay. That's fine, I suppose. We could get this down to 3. Let's go 6 here. Just get another card out of hand. And I'm actually going to use this. I'm going to use the Sabo here to get rid of both of these bodies. I imagine this next turn is probably going to be a 10 drop, which we can Suru Stussy it. It's fine. Oh, even better. We can Spandam Stussy it. That's even better. I didn't want to get rid of a 2K, but if we can use a Searcher and then do this, boom, boom, and then pass. They might have another one could follow up with. But that frees up at least our leader to swing with. Okay, they don't have the answer. This is an interesting turn for us because we do have a lot of pressure against them, and they're not going to be able to really establish much of a board. They might throw down like a blocker here. I would imagine that this could be a... Oh, it's not. I was going to say it's probably... like a... What is the blocker? Hawkins? Yeah. We can take that. How do we do both? Oh, we can just do both. Okay, cool. Let's go 5 lead. Use the ability. Let's go 6 lead. He might think we're crazy here. They might think we're crazy because we're swinging with our blocker, but we're not going to have room, and we don't want to get rid of one of these bodies per se. Not yet, at least. We do have quite a lot of pressure that's coming their way. Go 9. If they take this, then we just go all in, but I doubt. I think they're going to just like counter out here. Yeah. Got that there. Let's get this to there. Let's go Moria. Boom. We're going to get rid of this Moria and then go here. Use the card action. Doesn't really matter which. Usually you want to do the ones that you can't get back and pass. Okay. Well, I clicked the rematch there, but what you could see is that we pretty much took care of their board pretty easily. Okay, going against Red Purple Law, I think we want to see, like, Kaku is really good. 8-cost Sabo is really good here. We don't really have any early plays, unfortunately. I think Tempest Kick is fine to go ahead and just get rid of because we're not going to have to use it too often. The Ennis Lobby is really good to see because that will help us get within range for some stuff. And we have a Kaku online next turn. So let's go ahead and deploy this and then pass the turn. So next turn, we'll swing 5 and get rid of a body. They're going to play something on 4, obviously, so we don't even need to use the Ennis Lobby. It's nice to have. Moria is a great card to get out of life. Love to see it. Just swing 5, use the effect. And this next turn, they're probably going to be able to Gordon and have like probably Kid Blocker down on the field. Let's get rid of the Kaku and the Tempest Kick because we can bring back the Spandam with the Gecko Moria. Yeah, this is a kid into probably a reduction, cost reduction of some sort. Totally fine. They're going to probably swing 7, I would imagine. If they swing 6, we can just get rid of a 2k in hand. We don't want to counter out too hard some of this stuff. Rebecca. I see. Okay, Can we get rid of anything on the field? If we go... Let's just do a flat 6, but let's see where we can go with it. We can get this down to 4, -3. Yeah, I think that's fine. They can just block with the Shariah or the Kid. It doesn't matter. Either one's the same thing. I think Shariah is like the least of our concerns. I think this Kid really just like excels at accelerating this deck for them, and we don't want that to happen. And to be honest, like, it sucks that I can't get rid of both with the Lucci, but that's fine. Like, we don't need it to get rid of both. We can just get rid of one. Their hand size is pretty low. This following turn, we don't have too many options. We could go like Rebecca, just pitch a Rebecca to get it into the trash so that we can Moria, then go Rebecca into Spandam. And Spandam can maybe throw something into the trash that we can get back with Rebecca. So yeah, we have a few options here. And honestly, Raise Max coming down is great because the more removal that they use on like these bodies, like Lucci, like Sabo, like Kaku is fine because then that means less removal for our stuff like Moria, right? Here, I'm going to counter out because I don't want to go too low. Sanji out on the field, and then what is the other card that they have? They're walling up pretty thick. That is for sure. Interesting. Interesting play there. So let's just go 6 here. And I guess we can put it on the Sanji. Do they want to keep this? They don't. Okay. Doing that doesn't mean anything. Like, I'm not going to be able to play anything from there. Let's go Rebecca. Spandam. Grab a Tempest Kick. And a Khalifa? I think that's fine. That's fine. Do we play anything? Nah, I think we're fine. We'll pass. So then Moria can help at least, like, get rid of any bodies on the field that are tapped a lot easier. The Rebecca is going to be annoying for them because they have to do something about it. They have to minus it, which is a pain for them. We do have Lucci's afterwards, which are nice. Unfortunately, though, this is one of these matches where we did not see a single Sabo yet, and Sabo would definitely carry this matchup for sure. So yeah, getting rid of the Rebecca, I would assume. Go up to swing with a 7. If they swing with the Sanji, ooh, this is also pretty good too. Hidden Killer is definitely annoying, for sure. I think we can counter out of both, though. And in fact, I think I will. Because they could go 7 here, and then they might even swing 6. We want to fill up our trash. Cool. We'll go here. Isho, you're a little bit late. Party. Play out the Lucci. 1, 2, and 3. We're going to get this last card out of hand. Yep. We didn't need to do the 1, but might as well. Use all of our Dawn. So now they have to top deck really well. They have to top deck some things that are going to either have to rush in and it's only like 1 unit because they have 2 cards in hand. Or maybe they get maybe they have 2 kids and killers, you know, like play the kid and killer. Play another kid and killer with the leader ability. But they don't. They have a Sanji, and then they're going to be able to get rid of the Sanji and then swing 7 at lead. They're probably just trying to pressure really hard here. I think we just take it. Of course. Why? We don't need the Sabo now. What we're going to end up doing, though, is we're going to use the Sabo because I don't want to use the Kaku on the Sanji. And I'm just using my Dawn, like, efficiently as possible. Because, like, the thing is, like, we're not swinging with this. We're going to definitely play the Sabo. Might as well swing 7 and not have a free block on them. And then we'll swing 9. And then hope that they don't have double rush. Or, I guess, maybe double rush here? Yeah, they could go, like... Oh, they could go 6, 7 then at this point. I think we're chilling. Double card draw is not going to get them there. Yep. So yeah, this matchup can come down to the wire. You have to counter out appropriately and just be aware that they could just rush you at the end. And hope to find Sabos. But Moria does carry this matchup as well. All right, going against Enel, we're going to look for Ennis Lobby. And Moria is also really good. We can keep this hand. Normally, I would get rid of the Tempest Kick, but I think we just hold on to it because I think against Enel, it's pretty useful. We'll go 6. Use the ability, 0 enemies, and then play out the Ennis Lobby and pass. This next turn, we don't really have any options here. We don't have anything great. Oh, now we have a Sabo. So that's really good for us. Let's go 5 here. I should have used my ability. I accidentally misclicked there. Happens. So we'll get rid of both and then pass. Counter? I think we'll just counter out of that. And then the following turn, what we can end up doing is like, we'll go Sabo first. Make sure to use our leader ability this time. Yeah, Sabo first. Ooh. This one hurts. This one hurts. I think we have to get rid of these two. That hurts so badly. I want to keep all of the cards in my hand. We can start taking some hits here. That's fine. That hits them. And we could just pass. We don't need to hit in at that rate. They could play a Yamato, but it's the same thing as if we didn't, you know, take the hit here. I think we block this one. What are the chances that they just play an ace straight up? They can play an ace and just go rush face. That is a possibility. Can we take care of both? I think we can, actually. Let's go here. Now, if they have... Okay. Katakuri is annoying. Yes. Let's go... Play Moria, and Moria will get back a Lucci, Spandam. We're only able to get rid of one of these guys. Stussy's really good. Let's go ahead and use this and get rid of this here and here. We're not going to get rid of both of these, which that sucks, but it is what it is. And now the Spandam is really good here because they're going to use a Yamato to heal up. That'd be really next level. Yeah, it's really good. Get the draw off. Let's counter out. Get some cards out of hand. They'll likely counter out of this, and that's fine. We're just, like, getting their hand size further down. And once we can get their hand size further down, we have Morias back to back to back. So likely they'll attack in here or try to get rid of the Moria some way. I imagine they would. I think we can counter out. I think countering out's fine. We can actually go Moria, Tempest Kick. Okay, so they're just going face. Just going face. That's fine. We'll hit them pretty hard here. Can we... Can we is the question. We can. Okay. Let's go here. Use the card action. Get this down to 7. Here. Here. Moria. Boom. Let's get a search off because we definitely need cards in hand. That's great. Use the card action. And we're going to get rid of this, and put this at the bottom. Get rid of these two. And then pass the turn. We have a pretty sizable board now. So next turn, we are presenting lethal to them. They probably will play ace at this point. Ace is definitely going to be the best option for them. We really need to see a Rebecca. Yeah, this looks like an ace. We'll go here. They go face, that's fine. I actually think we just pressure this ace now. I think we actually pressure the ace because I don't think we go like Sabo. We could go Moria eventually, but I don't think we do anything else. So let's go here, 12 to 10. We're just getting cards out of hand. Do they have enough for this? They don't. They do not. Okay, that's good for us. We had to spend the entire turn doing that, which sucks. And if they have any kind of like rush unit other than like, I mean, they could go ace again, I suppose. And that's fine. But we're in a really weird spot here. They could go like rush Enel. They are running it. They could go like 7, 8. Which if they go 7, 8, we just counter out of the 7. They also could have like, I haven't seen it yet, but they might have like 5-cost ace. Okay. Interesting. That is very interesting. What do we do with that? Can they take a 10? I don't think they can. Two, 3, 4, 5. Let's just go 5. I know this is going to be troll. Let's go 5. Just get a card out of hand and then play down a Sabo. And I think that is fine because they can't get past the Sabo. They have the rush unit, but we have 2Ks now. Yeah, that was a really close one. I think 7-cost Enel is definitely good in this matchup. It's going to cause a lot of problems for us. I think this is a really good version of the deck overall, and they played it pretty well. So as you can see, Lucci has a really good matchup into some of the top decks in the meta. As you saw, we had Red-Purple Law, we went against an Enel, and we also, I think, went against a Bonney. All of those decks you will see plenty of at tournaments, and I think that if you can learn how to play Lucci, obviously I probably made some mistakes along the way as I am learning it myself right now. This is a really top-tier deck, and I think will reward a pilot that puts a lot of practice in it. So if you haven't already started, by the time this video comes out, you should probably start practicing Lucci if you want to do well at events, because I think Lucci has probably, like I said, one of the best matchup spreads. So I think when you're going to a big event, you have to consider what is my matchup spread against the meta, and also Lucci can tech in different cards to face different things in the meta. As you see, I have Sabo in here to face off against like boards that go wide. I have Isho in here against decks that draw a lot of cards, and then Stussy is in here. I think Stussy should be in this deck no matter what, at least as a one of, but you have the option to run more. It is searchable, so that's nice. Overall though, this deck is really, really smooth. I just think that this deck has a lot of versatility, and I can appreciate that when it comes to card games, having a deck that can handle all kinds of things thrown at it, and Lucci does that best. So anyway, I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.